Good morning, beautiful people. Happy Saturday. Our reading today starts out with a quote from Jessica S. It was the turtle who won the race, you know. In early recovery, we can get so excited about change that we want to change everything in our lives, often radically, and we want to do it right now. That impulse can be self-defeating. It took a long time, sometimes years, to progress in addiction. It will take some time to progress in recovery too. We need to look for small, slow changes rather than big, dramatic ones. And if we look closely, we can already see results. Are we sleeping better? Feeling physically stronger? Have we gotten medical care if we needed it? Has our nervous system settled down? Are we feeling less jangled, more calm? Are we able to concentrate better? Have we lessened our fear and anxiety? Do we feel more at home in the world? Have we found a higher power to share our lives? Do we feel a kinship with other people? Do we feel more serene in our relationships? If the answer to any of these is yes, we've already made measurable progress in our recovery. The rest will come in time. As the tortoise showed us, slow and easy wins the race. Today, help me to rejoice in small victories. Let me be satisfied with small successes. That ties in to, I think they say progress, not perfection, because, you're moving forward and making progress, and of course, it's not going to be perfect. In the first moments or the initial, week, month, early recovery, whatever time frame you want to call that, I see this as being really true. And I think that the way they teach us at the center is that there's up to 2 years of physiological change that needs to happen. You almost need to heal from a gambling addiction would be the best way to say it, but it can take up to 2 years. So initially when we quit, if we're still in that fog and we're still trying to detox almost from gambling, I think it would be really hard to see these little steps, what if your nervous system did calm down, or appreciating things like going to the doctor. I know I always blew off. I wouldn't spend $50 or $60 on a doctor's appointment or a copay because that was gambling money, which is so freaking bad when you think about the self-care perspective of that. I don't care about myself to go to the doctor. I need my casino money. It's really, really obnoxious. I don't want to say out of my control, but it was really bad judgment. So as our head starts clearing and we start doing these things, it's still kind of hard to realize that we're taking steps or making progress because our brains aren't programmed that way to acknowledge it and to look for it and to not be overwhelmed by the fog lifting and all the changes that come with quitting. We're not in the same environment. Maybe we used to pick fights with our spouses so we can go gamble. And if you're not trying to go gamble, you're probably not picking a fight. You might be fighting anyway because of the detox and the stress of it. There's a lot of things that change in our behavior, which would lead to changing some of this other stuff. I'm advocating for self-care all the time and self-care activities because they fill the time that, you would have been gambling or you would have been bored. So if you're meditating or sleeping better, exercising, all those things, you might be doing it to kill the boredom, but all of a sudden time goes by and these things are now part of your schedule and you're taking care of yourself. All of that is some of the progress that's happening. If you're not exploding, right? That was something that, not explode violently, but that I would get snippy or super bitchy. That would be my version of exploding. And I'm sure people have different versions because we're short on patience, or we're thinking about how to get to that next bet. So it's easy to be in that place of anger and craze all the time when we're gambling. So if we're not in a place of anger and craze, maybe we don't even take notice because it's what the normal should look like, or what it looked like before we got, totally enthralled with gambling. So give yourself some credit, because every day without a bet is a victory. And as I've told you before, it's kind of the premise of this. Here I am talking to you the last 6 months or so, and I can see being a couple years down the road, and maybe I think that I know this, and this, or maybe I feel certain ways, and I don't know today in general how I could feel better or what that might look like. But through time, I'll be able to look back and go, oh, okay, I feel even better than that. And I didn't even know that was possible. And I know that's coming. It's come every step of the way through my recovery. 1 month feels different than 6 months, feels different than a year. And my perspectives keep changing as I try to grow and use my ears more than my mouth, which is not always easy for me, if I'm being honest. And hopefully even things on how I communicate to you will continue to improve. That's part of why I was in that speak off competition, is so that I present and provide you the value that you deserve and need, and the messaging to help you stay away from the bet. And by the way, I made it through like 7 of the 11 finalists last night, and I have to say, I had no right being upset that I didn't make it to the semifinals. I am not on the level that these people were. They were brilliant and amazing, and it's definitely something to aspire to for next year, which I'm okay with. I'm okay doing the work and modifying and trying to get to a better place with that. Now I at least know what the finish line looked like. The fella that, I don't want to say I wanted to win, but he makes an impact on me in groups, and I've been in a couple different situations with him. But he gives off this energy, and I've never seen anybody do it so beautifully, but to be confident but humble at the same time, this guy just does it. And his story was really crazy last night. I mean, 5 of his best friends were murdered at the same time, and he had to go back to back to back to back funerals. It's just mind blowing, and gave me some perspective both on his story and how he shows up in the world. He's definitely a very good example, and it's kind of a privilege to get to work with him. And I'm sure that there's people like that in your lives, and I'm sure that you're capable of being one of those people, and you probably don't even know it. I'm sure he probably doesn't know to the extent that he does contribute to us. So just something to be mindful of. All right, class starts in a little bit, and I got to get back on the other computer. So I hope everybody enjoys their day. Of course, because I'm on lockdown with the computer, it's supposed to be 72 degrees here in Schenectady. Boy, and everybody's at the golf courses tomorrow. so it's a bit of a struggle to. It's supposed to be nice tomorrow too. It's not gonna work out to be golfing and taking advantage of this beautiful weather. So I'm trying to not be too bummed out about that. Who knows? Maybe I'll figure out a way to get out there tomorrow. But. All right, guys, enjoy your weekend. Thanks.